Today, we are talking about unit hubs. Now, what is a unit hub? It is one document that has everything you need to teach a unit. So theoretically, anybody could pull up this document and teach that unit. So for example, this one is my Saber versus Conocer unit, where I also used the story Amnesia by Senor Woolley. Right here, I have my unit goals. I can tell this took 10 days to teach. Here is a link to the folder with all of the resources they'll need, everything that's mentioned here in the unit hub. Here are daily objectives and lesson plans written out, as well as homework, and again, linked to exactly what you need to teach that. So when I'm getting ready to teach this unit again, I don't have to try to remember how many days is it, how did I start it, where are all my resources for it. Everything I need is here. That is what a unit hub is. It helps you plan your units in minutes, not hours. So I can simply look at this and say, okay, what am I going to need to have printed out for that? Okay, I'm going to need to print out this worksheet, and I'm going to need to have this survey ready for them to go online. Here's my notes presentation that I'm going to do, and these are book activities. So great. I know everything I need for the first day of this unit. Now, Google Hubs are really simple to create, but it does take time. They do have to be refined. When I started making Google Hubs, unit hubs in Google Docs, I actually didn't start in Google Docs. I started in Microsoft Word because I'm old like that. And they didn't start out with this nice formatting and looking like this pretty and this great. They actually started out looking more like this, where I just said, okay, it's day 5, here's the objective, here's the warm-up, here's the sequence or my lesson plans of what we're doing, and if there's homework, here's the homework. And then from this, it eventually evolved into something that looked a little more like this, that had links to the warm-ups, and not even just like the warm-up presentation, but the exact slide I needed to go to for that day. It had a list to, oh, here's the vocab quiz I need to have printed off for that day. Here is this activity. Again, I can print it off, and I left myself notes even that this one we were going to print out and do on paper in class. This activity we were doing on Canvas, our learning management system, so that was going to be online. Then I was going to do this activity, and if I didn't remember what that was, here's a blog post that explains exactly what it is, and here's the verbs I wanted to use for that activity. So past Lisa has put in so much work that present day Lisa did not even have to think like, oh great, we're going to do write, draw, write. First of all, what is that? Like, if I didn't remember. And then, how was I going to do it? What are they? Oh yeah, I wanted to use these verbs because they're kind of the trickier ones for students or a little more difficult to come up with examples for. And then, oh hey, here's the homework again. I can quickly print it off. How fast would it be to plan and prep for this day of the unit when everything is laid out for you like this? All of the resources you need are right there. Here's step by step. Here's your lesson plan of what you're going to do in that class. And then you can go right to the next day, and here it is. And I've also, like I said, left myself notes. Students pair up, they read a silly story with reflexives. Here is that story. And draw pictures. And then I say, hey, they're going to compare pictures with another student, switch partners, try and tell the story based on the pictures. Then I will take pictures of their drawings that we'll use later in class. So everything I need is right there. It makes planning and prepping so easy. And you can see here in bright red, reflection and things to adjust. So I've left myself notes. So when I come to teach this reflexive verbs unit, I remember, okay, what went well, what needed to be adjusted. And it's right here up front in bright red. I can't miss it, cannot miss it. That, oh, I want to do a full class practice reading paragraph before they read that silly story in pairs on day 5. And then I can just jump to day 5 and say, oh, okay, so before this, we need to do some practice reading as a full group. Since it's right up at the top, that gives me time to come up with that practice rather than the day of scrambling and being like, oh, shoot. Well, I guess we're not doing that because I don't have time to make it. Everything I need to teach a unit is right here in a unit hub. If you are thinking, oh my gosh, that looks amazing, can I please have one of these? Yeah, you can. You can start really, really simple like this and just type stuff out, or you can get more advanced, like some of the examples that you've got right here, or I think at the bottom of this one. Yeah, here's like another way you could organize things. And if you're thinking, wow, I would love to do that and I'd love to make it look really nice and like really fancy like this, but I don't know how to do that, I have an entire self-paced training. It's about 90 minutes long. It's broken up into 9 videos. The longest one is 12 minutes long, and it teaches you step by step how to make a unit hub that looks like this, how to format it, how to link things, how to include, drop-down menus. How do you get these like nice, fun little images that just make it look a little bit cuter if that's what you're into, as well as tips and tricks of things of what you'll want to include and how to do it quickly. Not only do I teach you how to do it, I also give you a template so that you don't have to start from scratch. You can start with something like this and then just fill in your information, customize it to your color preferences, font preferences, whatever you maybe want it to look like. So if you're interested in that, you can learn more down below. There is a link to that training. And if you have questions about unit hubs, feel free to comment and I would love to hear what you think.